you've been the butt of the joke because you're a Skins fan. All of a sudden, the Commanders are the hottest thing in town and have the biggest game on the NFL slate this week. How's it feel, dude?
A little bit awesome and a little bit terrifying. I got to be honest with you. Like I still have that feeling in the back of my head. I expect a lot of your listeners can identify with it. I call it PTSD, for post-traumatic Snyder disorder. It feels like there's always something that could go wrong. So I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I'm loving it, and I can't get enough of it. It's been the best start to a season in a very, very long time. So I am enjoying every second of it. But also, I need to get over the past. The past is gone. I got to move forward with it a little bit. But this weekend's going to be fun, and I don't want people calling it the passing of the torch game. I don't want that dialogue going into it. I thought Big Cat phrased it just about perfectly. It's a measuring stick game. That's a good way to look at it. Measuring stick game.
They don't like that word, PFT. The coach say no. The players say no.
The players don't like it. No.
Okay, well then listen. I can feel like that, but I'm glad that the players don't feel like that. I actually think that's a good thing that they are not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, from my perspective, because we get to find out as fans how real this team is this weekend. And I'm excited. I haven't been this pumped up for a football game in a long time. What are the coaches saying about, like, what should we call this game?
Well, they just feel like they're a good team too, and they're gonna go out there and do what they do. Like, I understand not saying it's a measuring stick game, because the coaches and players say it's a measuring stick game. They go out there and they get their doors blown off. Everybody lost their mind. Even players and coaches will be thinking, "Oh, we're not good enough." But if you just go out there, you play the football game and try to put your best foot forward. If you do that, I think you're in the game, and you play.
I like that mindset from the team too, because if you say it's a measuring stick game for your team, you're also implying that you think that the other team is better than you.
There you go.
You're putting them on a pedestal a little bit, right? And yep. I don't know if the Ravens are that great. They look like they're pretty damn good this year, but they have been beaten. They got beat twice. The Raiders beat the Ravens, so it's not like we can't go in there. And I think we're a good team too. We can win this game for sure. There's no doubt about that. It feels like the first time in a while where this is a game on a Sunday where the nation is looking at us. You know, like we've had
I think everybody
primetime games, but on a Sunday at noon, this is, the spotlight's on us.
Well, JP read an article today from the Wall Street Journal. They're talking about it.
Wall Street Journal, dude. In the Wall Street Journal, the headline is "Rookie Sensation versus Reigning MVP, the NFL Game of the Year Nobody Saw Coming." In the Wall Street Journal.
I don't know if we can call it the Game of the Year. Let's slow down a little bit on that. I think it's the game of the week that everybody's excited about.
Depending on how it goes.
Yeah. Every week I think we've had 5 different games of the year this season already. It's an all-time high for games of the year that we got going on right now. Hey,
totally.
BMitch, I had a question. Maybe you can help me out with this one, because I am very dumb as a football fan. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm very good at watching football on TV. I'll say that. I'll pat myself on the back. I think I'm in like the top 1% in terms of my skill at watching football on TV.
Uh-huh.
But I'm very dumb when it comes to the sport itself when you get down to it. So I had a dumb thought yesterday morning, and I'm curious to hear from you if this is as dumb as I think it is, or maybe I'm onto something.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to this matchup this weekend. And one big glaring weakness that the commies have had this season is we haven't had a great pass rush, right? Like, we got after Kyler Murray a couple times. We hit Deshaun around a little bit. They
got after him last week.
Yeah, that has a little bit to do with the quarterback play, a little bit to do with the Browns missing some guys on the offensive line or whatever. But we don't have a great pass rush. I wouldn't say that it's one of the strengths of our team. Is there a world where not having an elite pass rush can be a benefit playing against a quarterback like Lamar and keeping him in the pocket, because maybe our defensive ends aren't turning that corner and getting at him from behind, so it makes it harder for him to scramble out of the pocket? Am I crazy to think that?
Well, I see where you're going with it, and in some ways, yes. But in other ways, if they're not turning the corner, they're getting stifled at the line, which means he can get to the outside anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not the dumbest thing, but I guess
no. It kind of keeps him in the pocket because they're not giving him that little lane to hurry up and hit. But ultimately, that dude finds a hit on between the A and the B gap a lot. So
that's true.
If they can just keep him like a little corralled a little bit and make him have to pass more than being able to run past, That's the best chance.
Yeah, it's like maybe we can get some 3 defensive tackle sets out there. Maybe why not have Payne, Allen, and Newton on the field at the same time? That'd be nice.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I mean, one thing to keep in mind, Fedarian Mathis, it was an illness, but he did pop on the injury report. He didn't practice on Thursday, which is just something that I couldn't help but notice. PFT, with this matchup, right? They can lose, and then it's the Panthers at home. And you'd like to think you're still talking about 5-2. But you kind of touched on at the beginning that as much as you're enjoying this, you're still like kind of nervous. And I think that's how maybe not a majority, but a lot of Burgundy and Gold fans feel, right? At what point do you think it's reasonable to be like, all right, this team's just good. This is our reality now. Let's see how far it goes.
Listen, I do feel that way. I do, but I have the anxiety in the back of my head a lot of that. But
I get it, man. I totally get it.
I do feel, and you know what? I'll say it for the first time. I don't think I've said this out loud, but I'll say it to you guys for the first time. I think our Super Bowl window has already opened. I think this is the start of the Super Bowl window, and everything that we do for the next 3 to 5 years should be predicated around trying to win a Super Bowl. And we got Jaden on a rookie contract right now. He looks like he is the real deal. I'm not worried about him getting figured out by the league. I think he's going to have some bumps. I don't think he's going to be winning, rookie of the week every single week like he has been. I don't think that he's going to necessarily be playing at an MVP level week in and week out all throughout the season, or when we go into year 2, there might be a couple down weeks for him. I don't think that he's absolutely 100% perfect, but I do think it's realistic to say, yeah, we're rebuilding right now for sure. The rebuild has gotten a lot faster than we thought that it would.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is the start of the Super Bowl window. Not saying we're going to win it this year. I would love to make the playoffs this year. That would be awesome. That's kind of what I've got my mind on right now. Just like make it the playoffs. That would be awesome. Anything above that, that's a bonus for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that this is the start of the Super Bowl window. So like all the moves that we make, all the personnel decisions that we make, I think we should do that starting now with the understanding that we're trying to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
Well, I think that should be the mindset no matter what, even before this season.
Well, sometimes you gotta do a rebuild. Like we
rebuilding football take 2 years, not 4.
You think 2 years?
That guy told you 4. You believe that? No, that's not true.
Yeah, I think maybe Ron Rivera told me it might take longer than that. So I just think that this is a team. We've got a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl. I think that's 100% realistic to say. And I think every move that we make should be building around that and trying to strike now while we maximize the amount of years before he gets that he's going to get the 5th-year option. Just give it to him right now. In fact, we should just announce, yeah, okay, Jaden's going to get the 5th year. We're picking that up. Thank you. But I think that we've reached that point.
PFT Adamas, huh?
This is a window.
It's a pretty good call. They're going to pick up that option. It's honestly smart that the league doesn't allow those contract talks to start until 3 years in, because the way he has started, you'd probably have to, which is kind of remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
But can we get some NIL money going to Jaden? I wonder about that. Like maybe some part of my cheesesteak for every cheesesteak sold.
I have a feeling he did all
Sunday.
right at LSU.
Yeah. Even if they didn't have NIL, he was going to do all right at LSU.
Yeah.
But PFT, one thing
I got some of that cheddar.
I asked Kingsbury about this week, and I'm curious for you. I don't know if Washington is a town that is more O-line obsessed than others just because of the Hogs and everything that used to exist. But I think there have been a million different pleasant surprises in this 4-1 start, but the offensive line's been really good. Have you noticed? Have you enjoyed that? Or have you been surprised by it?
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it's safe to say, JP, that a town where the fans are known for getting dressed up as the wives of the offensive linemen and going to games, I think it's fair to say that we're more obsessed with O-line play than most other cities, which I love. I think the O-line's been awesome this year. I think it's been so much fun to watch, and they're having fun playing. I know you guys have seen all the clips of them just talking about how fun it is during the games and after the games. Yeah, the dudes up front are getting it done. I'm shocked that it's happened. There were a lot of doubters in our approach to the draft and how we waited to take take a lineman and Coleman so long. But the dudes have been playing really well, and we've been healthy up front, which is a big thing too. So hopefully that trend can continue. I think it really is like, credit to the guys up front. They're playing awesome. Also, having a great quarterback that can get away from pressure and make something happen when things break down. That's a great luxury to have for everybody on the team. If you're a running back, if you're a wide receiver, if you're an offensive lineman or tight end, it doesn't matter on offense. It's great to have a quarterback that can do that because it doesn't magnify any of your mistakes that you might make. Whereas if you have a guy like Sam Howell, who is still, I appreciate Sam Howell and he's a tough dude, but he's obviously not as mobile, and he was a sitting duck for any minor mistake that happened on the offensive line last year. So the dudes up front are getting it done, and it's awesome to watch. The running game has been kicking ass too. And so a lot of credit should go to those guys. I'm happy for Sam Cosmi, actually. I'm very happy for him. He's been through some crap with us, and he's a tough dude. He's a good dude, too. So I'm psyched to see him playing well.
Yeah, man. I think, the one thing that, because of Jaden and the excitement surrounding Jaden, the understandable excitement surrounding Jaden, and obviously, to me, taking Jaden at number 2 was a pretty much no-brainer pick. So I'm not in like the biggest hurry to credit Adam Peters in the front office for that, even though there were some that like Drake May, whatever. I think they were always taking Jaden.
Well, I credit them because they didn't listen to all the other people. They went on and took the guy that they felt was the best guy.
That's fair too. But if you look kind of down the line at the moves Peters made, and you want to credit the whole front office, but Peters is the head of it. This is his operation now. And you look at what Luvu coming off a 2.5 sack game. You look at Dorrance Armstrong all of a sudden coming on as a pass rushing threat. Tyler Biotish, I think, is a huge factor in this offensive line changing. Nick Allegretti is a guy that couldn't get his own spot on the Chiefs O-line. He was an important part of that team, and he moved around for them and started games, but they identified Allegretti, brought him to town. The interior of that offensive line, and not to mention they got the deal done with Cosmi to lock him in. Like, even a guy like Noah Brown, who may or may not even play this weekend, bringing in Zach Ertz, bringing in Eckler, bringing in Bobby Wagner, even Noah Igbenogany, who probably Dan Quinn and Joe Witt deserve some real credit on that because he was with them in Dallas, didn't play a ton. Their moves in free agency personnel addition have been really good.
Across the board, yeah. And Luvu, man, that dude seems like he is the ultimate locker room guy too. They love him. The team loves that guy. He gets people pumped before the games. He's a high energy guy. He's fun to watch out there. I'd like to take a little bit of credit too for Jaden, by the way, because I went on your esteemed program, I believe back in January or February last year, and I said I want Jaden. Jaden's the guy, top of my big board. Jaden, give me Jaden. He's going to be electric. He's going to be a great player. And I got a lot of hate from your listeners out there that wanted Drake May. I would appreciate it if every single one of them look and see if you tweeted at me after that appearance. And I would like an apology, or at least just think about it and be like, damn, PFT knows ball sometimes. But Adam Peters, he's doing everything right, I think. Like, I don't think he's had any huge missteps that I can think of off the top of my head. He's been awesome in the personnel department. The story that was it Grant Paulson that was talking about the text that he's like updating players when they get hurt during games. He's updating their families, like sending texts to them being like, hey, here's what he's going through. Here's what's going to happen. That just tells me like small stuff is happening in the right way. And
even like they've built out family areas. You remember they got the F- on the NFLPA report card?
Families. Yes,
dude, they've already changed it. And I was Benjamin St. Juice, his wife, they just had a baby. I mean, this little baby's 6 weeks, 2 months old, little baby. And I saw her in the hallway, and she was trying to get. They built like a new area for young babies. like all these things that just didn't exist are happening at just such a significantly different level.
Because they're people. They're not. They know how to deal with people. They're not so damn lost that they don't know how to deal with people.
And they have ownership willing to spend more money.
Yeah.
Which is, you know what I mean? Like a big part of it too. But it's the decision to go with Jaden, I think, was always the decision, but they do get credit for making the correct decision. To your
for
point.
not screwing it up. Yeah, for not
Right.
overthinking it. Yeah, and you know what? Maybe the F- was the best thing to happen to us. I didn't know that was a grade. I don't think that it is a grade. F- is it's shocking.
An F is an F.
Yeah, exactly. I've gotten plenty in my life. I've never gotten an F- before, but you get slapped across the face when you see F-, and I think that. I mean, obviously there were going to be changes that were going to be made. But an F- is like, okay, we need to do something like tomorrow.
Yesterday.
Like, let's schedule a meeting. Let's schedule a meeting. That's what that is. It's like you get an F-. You're like, okay, action items. Let's get to work on this. So maybe that was a good thing that happened to us, was getting graded so harshly. But yeah, things are turning around. And you know what? It's like winning does put a nice little Band-Aid on everything too. Like when you win, then the bad stuff isn't quite as bad, and the good stuff is even better. So that's probably helping the whole mindset around the team too. But man, I'm so excited for this weekend. I made a bet against Jimmy's famous seafood up there in Baltimore. So
really?
A bet going on. If the Commanders win, they have to cater lunch for our entire office. And if the Ravens win, I'm going to open up a $500 bar tab there on Sunday night for anybody that's at the bar drinking. So if we do lose and you're at the game, maybe stop by Jimmy's Seafood and I will be buying you guys drinks. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue, though.
I tell you what, I'm still trying to secure a parking pass, but assuming I do, I might stop by Jimmy's on the way home, and I'll send you a picture of just the scene. But let's hope you're getting a catered meal sent out to Chicago, dude.
I'll send JP if they have to make JP go pay the bar tab.
I get sucked into that.
No free ads, but
you don't want to go around taking no damn pictures. Help you out with the deal, man.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be here in Chicago watching the game, and I think the people in our office are they're now rooting for the Commanders just so that we can get a free seafood lunch. But I don't think that they've thought it through entirely as to what the smell in the office is going to be like that day. But that's fine. That's fine. It's a small price.
Just get fried stuff. If you get fried, it won't be stinky.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Yeah, give me all the fried shrimp in the world.
Yes, there you go.
PFT. Last thing I wanted to ask you about. I think we should all really work hard to set the record very straight that Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with the firing of Robert Saleh.
That's a bunch of crap.
Saying that. Yes. I resent the implication that many in the media are making that Aaron Rodgers, who has been the de facto GM of the New York Jets for the last 2 seasons, had anything to do with the most important decision of the season. I think that's irresponsible journalism. Look, Aaron Rodgers just works there. Okay, he's an employee, just like the equipment manager, just like the guy that wipes down the showers, just like the guy that cuts the grass. Aaron Rodgers is no different from them. So to think that he was even part of the decision-making process of whether or not his boss was going to be fired is just completely ridiculous.
They fired the guy that was coaching the better part of the team.
My question is, like, what is Nathaniel Hackett going to do now that he got demoted? Like, what is his job? If there's an offensive like we've seen coaches take play calling responsibilities from offensive coordinators before, but they're still they're working on the offense still as a coordinator. But if you're an offensive coordinator and you get your play calling duties taken away by a guy that's also on the offensive staff who then becomes the offense, what are you doing? Well, like, do you still show up to work every day? Is it one of these things where it's like just stay as far away from the offense as possible? I don't know. I feel like my guess is what happened was they asked Saleh to fire Nathaniel Hackett.
No, he wanted to fire him.
And then Aaron Rodgers was like, you can't fire Nathaniel Hackett. He's my emotional support coordinator, and I need him around. I put a vest on him when we get on the plane to go on road trips. And
that's funny.
He told Saleh, we're not firing Hackett. And then Saleh told Woody Johnson, hilarious name, by the way. We don't talk about that enough. Saleh told Woody Johnson, yeah, I'm not going to fire Hackett. And then Woody Johnson was like, well, not firing Nathaniel Hackett is in and of itself a fireable offense. So I'm going to fire you, but I'm going to talk to Aaron Rodgers about it. And then Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, you can fire him as long as Nathaniel Hackett still has a paycheck, and that's fine.
That's pretty well said.
I'll take it.
The thing, you were way out in front of this thing. there was I'm an AWL. I listen, right? And there was that talk of Aaron Rodgers when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was talking about running for president. There was talk of Aaron Rodgers potentially being his vice president. And eventually that RFK is not running, whatever. I don't want to get into the political side of this, but what I do find amazing, watching him on McAfee and then watching him with the New York Press, he has morphed into a politician where he could sit up there and
lie
and convince himself of this truth that is so separated from reality. Like he might be a good vice president.
Yeah, he should have run. I don't want to say regret because it's not my choice, but I wish that he had run for vice president because it would have made this season so much more chaotic. It would have been awesome just to, as somebody who talks about the NFL for a living, it would have been great to have that content out there. Yeah, I think it was like a month before the New York Times reported on it, somebody told me about it. And, they told my dog Leroy, who breaks news about it, and he ended up putting the news out there. But I was like asking around, and everyone was like, "No, I don't think it's happening." But I just could tell the way he was acting. Like there's something about this guy that he has the ego to believe that he could be vice president. And when you watch him in the news recently, I would not be shocked if Aaron Rodgers is actually the one that's giving all the Aaron Rodgers and Jets news to the media, like behind the scenes.
Oh,
and
I can believe it totally.
Then he's going on the air and saying, "Why are you writing this stuff? It's completely made up." I would not be shocked to find out that Aaron Rodgers is like a big source behind the scenes of a lot of these reports.
Man, that dude's been an ass forever. So let's be real about it. I mean, we can sit up. He's a great quarterback. Point to give it to him. But other than that, that's all he is.
I want to see. Here's my goal for Aaron Rodgers. What I would like to see. If he's not going to run for vice president, I hope that maybe after his second year with the Jets, he says he's going to retire, and then he thinks about it. And he's like, you know what? It'd be kind of fun to play with Kevin O'Connell. He's got a great offense out there in Minnesota.
Oh my God.
And then he goes to the Vikings, and he
just like Favre.
He does the Brett Favre hat trick. That's what I would love to see.
Yeah, but he didn't really like Brett Favre, but he seems to be trying to do everything Brett Favre did, though.
Exactly.
He's on that track.
Yeah.
PFT, man. Enjoy the weekend, dude. Game of the year, dude. Game of the year.
Game of the year. I'm so excited for it. I really am. And this is going to be a great weekend of football, by the way. All day Saturday. We kicked it off nicely. JMU with a dominant win on Thursday night. And, huge college slate Saturday. And then Bears early on Sunday. Commanders, Ravens, game of the year. I'm pumped. I've already started to think about what I'm going to wear for the game. That's what's different about this year than last year. I know I talked to you guys about like not being prepared and not having that winning mindset where I don't know to pack a jersey or another T-shirt for the walk through the airport the day following an away game. I've figured that out mentally, so I will be prepared next time. But now I'm starting to think about what jersey am I going to wear? What hat am I going to wear on Sunday during this big game? I got to step it up a little bit. I ordered a Luke McCaffrey Arctic camo salute to service jersey. I think I'm the only person in the United States that has ordered that jersey yet. It might be from one of these weird Chinese websites where I open it up and some weird strand of bread.
I hope that jersey not pink.
Yeah, it might turn out a little funky, but I'm starting to get into the mode where I'm making just reckless snap purchases of Commanders gear so that I can have a wide variety of choices depending on what style of game I want to play on Sunday. But yeah, I'm starting to plan that out. I got to get my ensemble together for Sunday and be prepared. You know what? I'll show up watching football at 4 a.m. on Sunday. I'll get there early, just like Jaden's doing.
PFT, thank you,
All right,
bro.
man. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, see you guys.